In our this series about making different rices, today we are venturing into a different culture altogether, Mujadara. This is, most people will know as Arabic rice. Some call it Lebanese rice, Syrian rice, depending. The different varieties in it, depending on the culture, they change a bit. The history, when I started researching it, it comes back from 1200 sometime. Al-Baghdadi in his book wrote about it, and it comes from Al-Baghdadi. Al means of, Baghdadi means Baghdad, person from Baghdad. Things have changed over the years, the spice mix and everything. I'll tell you the way I'm doing it, but the original recipe called for cumin powder, coriander powder, and mint, fresh mint. You can use dry mint. That's the original basic recipe. The way we do it today, because generally speaking, if you go around and you have an international supermarket around you, in the Arabic sections, you can find 7 spices. What is 7 spices? Actually, as the name says, it is a mix of 7 spices. I made some the other day. The link will be underneath below, so you can go and watch that shot and see how I did it. It looks something like this by the time it's done. What's in there? It's equal proportions, ratios of allspice, white pepper, black pepper, cardamom, cloves, and dhania, which is coriander. What I did was, other than my white pepper, I didn't have it and I had to run to the supermarket and get it yesterday. But I prefer everything whole. And what happens with the whole is you roast it a bit, and then at that time you'll add the powder version, crush it, and you have this spice. Right now, I just left it open because I will put it in some kind of a airtight container and then keep on using it as I need. What do you need for this rice? Rice, basmati, I always prefer. It uses a black masoor. Masoor is a kind of a lentil. Why it's black? Because you typically see yellow lentils or orange lentils, as they call it. That's also masoor. This one has a skin on it, and it's not split yet. So that's why it looks a bit different. What I have is a cup of this. I'm already soaking in water. What soaking does, it helps you with your cooking time, and it's washing my lentils also. So rice, dal, oil, onion, spice mix, and salt. That's all. It's extremely simple. If you watch my video about pulao, I have the habit of frying the onion to the point that the color changes. In this case, this is not what I'm trying to do. I want to keep the sweetness of the onion in my rice. So what I'll do is I will cook it to the point that from white it becomes translucent. So let me go ahead, chop my onion. I'll do that. I'll put some oil in my pan. I'll start doing the onion. At that point in time, once I start smelling the onion, I will add my dal in it, my lentils in it, get rid of the water. At that point in time, I'll add some of the spices. Salt I'll leave for last. I always try to leave salt for last. And then we'll cook this. So I'll see you in a minute. So the onion is in a bit of oil. As I said, I'm only waiting for it to get translucent, not trying to brown it. The lentils which were sitting in water, I'm taking the water out. So making this kind of rice compared to a Pakistani pulao, it is a two-step process. First, you have to cook the lentils, and then you have to add the rice and cook that down. And you really don't take any liquid out of it. You try to make it to a point that everything cooks perfectly, and the liquid evaporates. How long will my lentils take to boil? It depends on where you live. I'll go for 15 minutes. Some places, depending on your altitude, it could be 25 minutes. So something you have to see for yourself. What you're trying to do is cook it to a point that it's soft, but don't get it to the point it's mushy, because it still has to cook with the rice. So there'll be time involved. So my hope from here is 15 minutes of rice boiling. Sorry, the lentils boiling. Then eventually, when I'll feel that it's right, I'll add rice. At that time, I'll figure out how much extra water to put, and we'll be good. Spices and other things will go. One thing which I forgot to mention when I was talking about Mujadara, uh, how it's different depending on which culture of the Arab region you come from. It actually, what I've realized, I knew with a different name. My mom used to make it. It goes to Pakistan also, and it's called khichdi, which is roughly the same idea. The only thing is they typically use broken rice, and they also add some chicken broth in it, and it's typically used if you're sick. So it's one of those foods that anytime you get sick, especially something to do with stomach, that's what your moms will make. It would not have too much spice, and it's easy to digest. So that's a little bit of history from Pakistan. Now, again, the color is changing. This is good. I can smell my onion. So if you look at it, this rice, having the the lentils in it and rice, you are making both sides of rice and whatever curry or anything which will go with it. You can, when it comes to serving, all you will need is a bit of yogurt, or make a raita yogurt with mint, put it on the side. That's the best way to do it. So I'm happy. I'm out of water. So now this is a bit of I cannot give you an exact measurement for it. As I said, it will depend on where you live. I want to get it soft. You realize that when I put this 1 cup, which is 1.5 real cups, or 1 1/4, 1.5, I think, the water was here. So what I'm trying to do is double the water. So I'll probably go till here. If I need to add more water, I can. These are things you learn while cooking, which sometimes you, but that's what's called experience. Now, with this six spice, um, it was because of the black pepper and the white pepper. It's a bit spicier, not hot as what it would be like a red chili, but there's a bit of flavor to it. So put a little bit, not too much. All you're trying to do is get a bit of smell. So I'll let it cook for 15 minutes from here. If I need more water, I'll put more water in it. So 15 to 25 minutes, depending again. Um, and you just check the softness. It should not be all the way soft because it will still cook with rice for another 10-15 minutes. So remember that. I'll lower the heat. What I've done over here, I picked up some yogurt, added just a couple of pinches of the same 7 spice, which I accidentally earlier said 6 spice, 7 spice in it, and a pinch of salt. One of these beautiful things, which I really appreciate, and I'm trying to sell this product because I don't make any money off it, but this works beautiful in winter to have fresh herbs. So I picked some mint, chop that, mix all together, and I'll just use that on the side on top of the rice, whichever way. I do smell the mint, I do smell the spices. This is done, this is sitting now with this. So the lentils are half boiled. If you've seen my video about pulao, now I'll go with the basic technique that I use to make my rices. So whatever you measuring cup, in this case, it's cup and a half kind of situation. It's the same amount of lentils in this. So my way of cooking rice always is where I try to keep all the water inside. 1 of the rice and 2 of water. Over here, I'll mix it. Add the salt now. Again, salt, I'm not telling you any measurements. It depends on how much salt you like. This will cook in 3 steps now. I need a boil first. As soon as the boil happens, I'll go mid heat and I'll cover it. And then once I start seeing rice on top and all the water almost gone, I'll actually go to the lowest level and let it sit for another few minutes. Roughly speaking, from here to make the rice, it is around 15 minutes. But again, it depends on how hot your stove gets. So the rice is done. It's still super hot. I served a bit. So look at the consistency. Depending, sometimes some people prefer to have a little bit of like liquid left. I don't, but it's still a bit runny compared to how I make my pulao. Put the yogurt next to it. Let's try. Bit of rice, bit of this. Actually, very good. What I realized that when I put my sound spices, did not put enough. So I did sprinkle a little bit before serving myself. So that is coming out good. You can go both routes. If you don't have enough when you're cooking it, be conservative always. Don't have when you're cooking it, you can always sprinkle on top. Let me try another spoon. The yogurt is coming out very well with it. So this is how you make another kind of rice. I hope you were able to get some information from me. From here, as I always request, like this video, subscribe to my channel, go to our blog also, and we'll see you next time.